What is a closure? In simple terms, a closure is when a function remembers variables from the place where it was created, even after that place is gone. I know that sounds confusing, so let me show you with code. Let's create a simple function. I'll write function outer, and inside I will create a variable. Let me call it message and set it to hello. Now inside this function, I will create another function called inner. This inner function will just console log that message variable. At the end of outer function, I will return this inner function. Now let me use it. I will create a variable called my function and set it equal to outer. Now when I call my function, watch what happens. It prints hello, but wait, the outer function already finished running. The message variable should be gone, right? But it's not. The inner function still remembers it. That's a closure. Let me explain why this happens. When we create the inner function inside outer, JavaScript doesn't just save the function code. It also saves all the variables that the inner function uses from its surrounding scope. So even after outer finishes, inner still has access to message. It's like the function carries a backpack with all the variables it needs. Let's see another example. I'll create a function called createCounter. Inside, I'll create a variable count starting at 0. Now I will return a function that adds 1 to count and returns it. Let me use this. I will create counter 1 and set it to create counter. Now every time I call counter 1, watch the count go up. See, each time we call it, count increases. The function remembers the count variable. Here's something cool. If I create another counter, it gets its own separate count. See, counter 2 starts at 1, not 4. Each closure has its own private copy of the variables. They don't interfere with each other. This is really powerful because we have essentially created private variables. There is no way to access or change count from outside except through the function we returned. Let me show you a real use case. Imagine you have buttons on a web page and you want to count how many times each button is clicked. First, I will create a function called makeClickCounter. Inside, I will create clicks starting at 0. Now I return an object with two functions, one to increment the clicks and one to get the current count. Now let me use it. I'll create button 1 counter by calling makeClickCounter. Now I can call increment whenever the button is clicked. Perfect. And if I create another counter for a different button, it tracks separately. Each button has its own private click count. That's the power of closures. Now let me show you a common mistake people make with closures. Say you want to create 3 buttons that each alert their number. You might try this. I'll create a for loop. And inside, I'll create a button that alerts I when clicked. You would expect button 1 to alert 1, button 2 to alert 2, and so on. But actually, all 3 buttons will alert 4. Why? Because the onClick functions all share the same I variable. By the time you click any button, the loop has finished and I is 4. And here's how to fix it. We use a closure. I wrap this in a function that takes a number parameter. Let me call it num. Now I immediately call this function and pass I to it. This creates a new scope for each iteration, so each button gets its own num variable. Now they work correctly. By the way, you can also fix this by using let instead of var in the loop. Let creates a new variable for each iteration automatically. Let me show you one more example. Say you want to create a function that multiplies by a specific number. I'll create a function called createMultiplier that takes a number. Inside, I'll return a function that takes another number and multiplies it by the first number. Now I can create specific multiplier functions. Let me create double by calling createMultiplier2. Now I can use it. Let me create triple by calling createMultiplier3. See how clean that is? Each function remembers its own multiplier value, thus closures, making our code more flexible and reusable. They might seem weird at first, but once you understand that functions remember their environment, the best way to learn is to practice. Try creating your own counter function or a function that remembers a username. Play around with it. Closures are used everywhere in JavaScript, especially in React, Node.js, and modern frameworks. Understanding them will make you a much better developer. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.